A new report suggests that we will see a Tomb Raider game announcement this year, but with that comes a lot of speculation as well, and also some updates on what's going on with the Perfect Dark game and Avengers. Just no more of that. Gone. Done for. Dunzo. But is this good news for Tomb Raider fans or bad news? If you've watched my channel enough and seen me talk about Tomb Raider, you'll know I'm very skeptical given what we've seen in recent history. But also, this news does not look that great to me. But at this point, it's a lot of speculation. So, just so y'all know before y'all start getting, All right, so here we have this tweet right here that says the next Tomb Raider game will be revealed later this year, according to a new report. Crystal Dynamics will reportedly be ceasing all development on Marvel's Avengers soon and will move on to working on Tomb Raider and Perfect Dark full time. Okay, so here we have the actual article here. I think obviously them not doing anything else with the Avengers is good, because that was a giant trash fire and a huge disappointment for Avengers fans. But this could be bad news for us Tomb Raider fans, because as you guys all know my opinions on the subject. Now, while I think that the reboot trilogy was fun and it was, for what it was, it just wasn't Tomb Raider. And here's one thing that Crystal Dynamics has proven is that in their studio, how it currently is established, I'm not talking about way back Legacy of Kain days, but right now at this present time and over the past decade, Crystal Dynamics focuses on cinematic story and dramatic stories, okay? Do they really excel in actual gameplay, especially when it comes to explorations, maneuverability, all that sort of thing? Not so much. And this is why I've had such a problem with the direction that Tomb Raider has been in, because Tomb Raider, and I made a huge video really deep diving into this called Tomb Raider Needs Another Reboot or It Will Fail on this channel. So check that out if you want a really deep dive into the whole history of Tomb Raider, into what made Tomb Raider what it is, and how it is a completely polar opposite now. But just the gist of it is that Tomb Raider was known for its exploration, its puzzles, its going here to collect this so that you can open this door, and so it was just a lot of thinking. It was a lot of, also acrobatics, backflips, being able to traverse a level and have to actually think about doing it. No auto grabs, anything like that. You actually had to plan out how to navigate from point A to point B and so on and so forth. Now, the stark difference with that is that with modern Tomb Raider, we are seeing some more action focus. It's also no acrobatic abilities that you can really do. And the traversals, auto grab is pretty mindless for the most part. And these are not very core elements of the recent Tomb Raider games. They're more so like an Uncharted experience, which is not a bad experience, but it's just quite frankly not Tomb Raider. And my biggest complaint, especially with Lara Croft as a character, is just how much they changed her in personality and motivation and design. All of that, she went from this someone that you would aspire to be just as cool as her, right? She went to this unattainable level of awesome, right? In ability and in appearance and in everything. She was just unattainable, amazing. And then now they just kind of changed her into a girl next door. Not that there's anything wrong with the girl next door, but it's just different. That's just not who Lara Croft was meant to be. Changing her from anti-hero, selfish, to somebody who wants to protect artifacts and help people. It's just a huge difference. Tomb Raider has been made for a modern audience, but the modern audience aren't gamers, so we've been suffering with that. The dramatic stories, the change and all that, very frustrating. I don't think that the future of Tomb Raider is in good hands right now either. It's not promising that we'll actually get classic Tomb Raider back in any capacity, not with Lara Croft, not with the gameplay, not with anything. And we've also had recent leaks that I've made a video about as well that really do not sound promising, okay? Lara being a mentor to students instead of just being the loner Tomb Raider that she always has been. She's now a teacher, and she needs help to take on another catastrophe because she can't do it alone. She's lonely. And she gets a love interest that's a woman. It just sounds like a bunch of modern audience bullcrap. So, those are rumors, though. I think they were very legit rumors, and the source was very legit. But I digress. This news that we are getting an announcement this year leads me to believe that the rumors that we saw they haven't had enough time to really change what they were already working with. So that's not promising. Now, here we have on apparently this is a, alleged source that knows stuff, right? Take this with a grain of salt. This is going to be a lot of speculation in this video. But this person, because someone says right here, I'm okay with this if it means Perfect Dark and or Tomb Raider are accelerated a bit. And the source says Tomb Raider is full steam ahead. Perfect Dark, I've heard, has it hit a road bump or two. You'll see the former before the latter. So we're going to see Tomb Raider before Perfect Dark. Okay. Tomb Raider did get announced first, though. Now, let's look right here at Corey, member of the Tomb Raider community, very, very, very versed in Tomb Raider. He's sharing some more info here and his opinions, which I'm not totally sure I agree with what his opinions are, but I'm curious to see how it plays out and to see who is more clued in. Corey is good at predicting stuff, though. I will give him that. So he says, so we most likely will get a reveal at the end of the year, probably at the Game Awards in December. I don't expect we will see the actual release until 2025, though. So don't think it means it's coming sooner than you think. I disagree on this part. I don't think to me it sounds like they're rushing this out, okay? Amazon is now the publisher. They're funding it, even though Embracer Group bought the rights to Tomb Raider, but Amazon has partnered with them. They're funding it. We've already seen Tomb Raider in multiple hands in just the past year, time span of a year. So to me, this feels like this project is being rushed. They're like, it does not seem like this is going to be as big of a budget as even the last 3 games. I don't think that inherently is a bad thing, but when you're working with Crystal Dynamics, who only focus on cinematic experience, then it is a bad thing, because that means it's less quality in that, and that was the only thing they really had going for them. Now, if they were to put more focus on gameplay and not so much the dramatic stories, hey, a smaller budget would be perfect. I would honestly love that. That would be incredible. But I don't think Crystal Dynamics is capable of making a classic Tomb Raider experience. All they do, and their specialty, is overly dramatic stories and overly cinematic games. That's just what they do. So let's look at this. This looks like it says, question, how road bumpy? Like, are we going to see a change in camera perspective and the rest is the same? Or is it rebooting territory? About Perfect Dark. Miller says, I don't know exactly. Just heard the waters were choppy for Perfect Dark. Not good news for Perfect Dark, but it's been bad news in general that Crystal Dynamics has any association with it. We've already seen them completely desecrate Lara Croft. Now they're going to do the same with Perfect Dark, and they're going to give Joanna the woke treatment or the modern audience treatment. I'm not about that. I don't want to see it. I've already lost all hope for the remote future of Tomb Raider until they eventually sell it to another developer or hand it off. But now it's looking like very bleak for Perfect Dark as well, especially with the road bumps that they've said they have encountered. So, well, that's troubling for Perfect Dark. Didn't that begin development way ahead of Tomb Raider? Tomb Raider has actually been in development for a lot longer than people know, though it did restart when they shifted from Foundation to Unreal Engine 5. It's been in the cards for a while now, okay? So while Tomb Raider has been in development for a long time, the fact that they restarted it with the Unreal Engine 5, that means that technically with a restart, forget the past stuff, with the restart, that's been what, a year? Not even a year since they announced it, at least. And when they announced it, it was just like, hey guys, just so you know, we're working on Tomb Raider on Unreal Engine 5. That was it. So it was very early in development that we received that announcement. So ultimately, disregard the fact that it was in development before because they restarted it. That's my take on it. So this does seem like it will be rushed. I don't think they're going to stretch it out to a 2025 release. I don't think Amazon is going to be dishing $100 million like we've seen in the past games that didn't return good profit, that had terrible ROI. All right, so the remaining talent are expected to be moved full-time to Crystal Dynamics' new Tomb Raider title under Amazon Games, which I am told is well into full-scale development and the subject of mounting pressure in the lead-up to a reveal later this year. Okay, Corey also says here, if the source is to be trusted, which he has a good track record, then development hasn't long started if it was restarted after the engine change. Exactly. They'll most likely want to market and promote this game for a while, with it being a new era. Tomb Raider 2013 was revealed 2 years before. Now, this is where I do disagree, though, on this part, because Tomb Raider 2013 had a lot bigger of a budget, and it had a lot more anticipation, right? This was a giant reboot. This was a giant change. And what we're seeing with the next game isn't going to be that. It's not a reboot. They're saying they're trying to unify the timelines, but I truly don't think it's that much of the case. I think what it is basically a continuation of the rebooted era, that the Survivor timeline. It's going to be a continuation of that, and they're going to give Lara like a braid and she's going to be in her 30s. Like, that's it. Like, it's not going to actually be classic Lara. Especially given the leaks, it doesn't seem like that whatsoever. So I imagine the gameplay will be much the same. So I don't expect this to have that big of an anticipated launch, that it's not going to be taken as serious. Tomb Raider already hasn't been taken as serious after Tomb Raider 2013. Now, 2013's Tomb Raider did break a lot of waves, dude. And as much as I have issues with it, I have to admit, and even for me, I was shocked and I was just impressed because it was something so different, and it was Tomb Raider seen through a AAA type lens, when previously Tomb Raider was more of a niche type thing, right? It was more of like it was like a hidden gem almost, not completely hidden, because Tomb Raider did have Lara Croft especially had worldwide fame, but for the most part, Tomb Raider just didn't seem AAA. This is when it really felt mainstream, was with 2013. And as we know, when stuff goes mainstream that previously wasn't, that's when it starts to go downhill, and that is what happened. But the initial change and the initial difference was shocking and exciting at the time. Once the novelty wore off, though, people are like, wait a minute, can Tomb Raider just be Tomb Raider again? And that's just where we're at. So because people have already started getting tired of it after the first game, it had a lot of diminishing returns with with Rise of the Tomb Raider, and then furthermore with Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which were disappointing in sales. They had to start putting them on sale so heckin' early, especially Shadow of the Tomb Raider. And so anyway, because of that, I feel like they're just rushing it. They're wanting to get it out there. They're not wanting to put in near the budget or anything like that, because the ROI simply isn't worth it. To have $100 million budget games that barely break even, that's just not worth it. And especially when you factor in the classic games. Okay, so the classic, when you look at the classic games that sold millions of copies, but only had, even adjusted for inflation, approximately $1 million budgets versus $100 million budgets, that's a stark difference, going from major profits to where developers who had profit shares within the company were able to retire and live out their lives, dude, because they were rich. When you got that versus this with a way huger budget, a lot more attention, a lot bigger of a team that has to go into it, and the games are only breaking even, it's not worth it to have a huge budget when it's not producing the proper numbers, right? So Corey also says here, it's release. So a 2025 release window is what I'm expecting. I don't expect the reveal trailer to showcase any gameplay. It's safe to assume it'll be CGI showcasing the rough plot, locations, and Lara's design with a game title and logo reveal. Now, in terms of what we see during the actual reveal, this is very possible because Crystal Dynamics has been known with the recent games, their recent Tomb Raider titles. Whenever they just show a reveal, it's always a CGI little teaser type thing. They don't ever reveal with gameplay. So I do agree with this. It's probably just going to be some flashy teaser, just a little, just to get a little people, a little interested and hyped about it. But unfortunately too, the teasers don't, The teasers are always way better than what we see too at the end, unfortunately. I know with Rise of the Tomb Raider especially, a lot of people were severely disappointed that Lara Croft didn't look like she did in the teaser. Similar to even Tomb Raider 2013, that she didn't quite look like she did in the Turning Point teaser. That said, though, she did look a lot better in 2013 than she did down the line. They progressively made more for a modern audience as that. Which again, in my very detailed at-length video, you'll see me talk about that. Now, I do disagree with the 2025 release. I very well could be wrong, but to me, it feels like they're really trying to rush this and that they want to put more attention on Perfect Dark. It's already hit some road bumps. Perfect Dark, to see Perfect Dark again, such an iconic franchise, and after it's been so long, because we haven't seen Perfect Dark Zero. I mean, dude, that was Xbox 360 launch title. It's been such a long time since we've seen Joanna Dark, and I think that again, working with Microsoft on this, that is going to have a lot bigger of a priority than Tomb Raider is. And so without having as much attention, they're going to want the studio to have more attention, to put more attention into Perfect Dark. So yeah, I feel like this is going to be rushed sometime like maybe late next year, but if not mid next year, I don't know. But either way, it does feel like this is going to be rushed. And I don't think it's going to be good. I think this is going to be the nail in the coffin for Tomb Raider, unfortunately. And as a Tomb Raider fan, I hate to even say it, but I do think this will be the nail in the coffin. And I think we're not going to see Tomb Raider for a very long time. We already haven't technically seen Tomb Raider for a very long time, because what we have now isn't Tomb Raider. It's something new. It's Uncharted Adventure. It's female Uncharted. And some people say, well, isn't Lara Croft female Uncharted? No, she wasn't. They were totally different. But that's basically what we're seeing. And not even... It's female Uncharted, but not even the same quality that Uncharted has. So that's where we're at. I don't want to sound like a hater. I'm just being real on this situation. And I know people who work for Crystal Dynamics, and it doesn't do me no joy to knock on this franchise right now, or to knock on Crystal Dynamics. It does me no joy, because I know there's good people who work there, and I also know there's people who would love to see Tomb Raider return to its classic roots, who work there. But unfortunately, it's just not the case right now, given the higher ups and the people involved there. They're the ones making all the big decisions, and they're the ones who are very bitter and hate classic Tomb Raider and classic Lara Croft. They hate her. They only want to utilize her when they want money from quick, easy third-party stuff, whether it be merch type stuff or adding a cameo in a game, right? Like Fortnite. Then they want to capitalize on her image, and they want to capitalize on the classic fans and just gamers in general who recognize classic Lara. They want to capitalize on that, but do they actually want to bring her back? Do they actually even like her? No, they don't. We've seen them make dig after dig after dig at classic Lara in interviews and even in the games themselves, and little blurbs about the classic skin, which was phoned in and of itself, and so on and so forth. So anyway, this is where we're at. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Also, I did want to let you guys know I did start my streaming back up again. Started with Fire Emblem Engage last night. I had so much fun with that. So if you guys want to catch me streaming, you can do so live at twitch.tv/MelanieMac. Or if you don't do Twitch, or you don't have time to watch live and you just want to catch the VODs and you just like YouTube better, I am going to start uploading the VODs on YouTube. I already got part 1 uploaded today. I'm just going to keep uploading them every single day on my old channel, youtube.com/MelanieMac. I have a use for it now. I'm excited about it. And of course, as usual, all of my nerdy commentary stuff will stay here on my Go Boom channel, which is kind of my main channel now, but funny how that worked out. But anyway, thank you all so much again for hanging out. I will catch you next time. And in the meantime, Go Boom.